hot topics, baby.
I am really him.
We gotta learn to put the kids first.
I am really him. I am really that dude. I am.
Paydro. A great friend of mine told me that Cahokia was going to be a great city once they got all of the white politicians out of office. What's your thoughts on that statement?
Color don't have nothing to do with being right or wrong necessarily. You know, most of the people that I see that's our color, you know, they basically just trying to fatten their pocket. They ain't worried about the community. You know, they worried about a check.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on Cahokia Heights building this new school, despite having a dangerous sewer system problem that needed to be addressed for decades?
School, man, the school well deserved, well needed. You know what I'm saying? The kids deserve it. We needed it when we was in school. You know what I'm saying? We went to school, black mold. You know what I'm saying? Everything was crap, but I mean, they run the city how they run the city, man. You know what I'm saying? They spend their money on what they want to spend it on. But no disrespect, the kids need it. You know what I'm saying? At least it's going to something positive.
Are they doing a good job managing the city right now?
In my eyes, hell no.
Awesome. We had a conversation about a good brother who lived in the city his entire life, purchased a home, raised his children there, owned a business, and still is a major asset in that city. He had a job interview with the city, and he couldn't manage to score a job. What's your opinion on that brother not being able to score that job?
And if you ain't into politicking and you don't fit they dynamic, they're not gonna look out for you. They're not gonna help you. You gotta be on their time. If you ain't on their time, you may as well cancel Christmas.
But I heard there's a lot of people who don't even live in the city limits have jobs. So what you think about that?
You got a lot of people that's you know what I'm saying, they work for the district, they work for the city, they collect checks and you know what I'm saying? As long as they fit the dynamic of the person in office, you know, then they gonna be straight. You know, it ain't about what you know, it's who you know.
Awesome. What are your thoughts about politicians being involved with the school system?
Man, as long as they are as long as they live in the community and they see what's going on in the community and they concerned, you know what I'm saying, and they really expressing their concern, then I don't have much to say. But you got all these outsiders, you know, that don't live in our community, that ain't from our community, you know, with all this input on what money should be spent on, what should be put in place, and what we need and what we don't need. What you need is to find you a job in your city or in your neck of the woods, and let the people from here deal with what's going on around here.
Awesome. Do you have any concerns about your kids' academic progress in the Cahokia School District?
I don't have concerns with my kids and their academic progress because, regardless of what the teachers do, I'm going to do my part. You know what I'm saying? They play, parents supposed to play a major role. You know what I'm saying? I play a major role with mine. I help with homework. I sit down. If they don't understand, I'm going to always, if I don't understand, I'm going to go find, a tool to help them. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, my kids, man, I'm not concerned at all. Both of my kids honor students.
Awesome. Do you think it's important to have a relationship with your child's teachers and the school staff?
I don't feel that it's necessary to have a relationship, so to speak, but it's good to know who dealing with your kids on a daily basis. I want to know that the person that is teaching my kids meets the criteria that's, you know what I'm saying, expected when you dealing with, you know, young adults and children. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no pickle plumbers or no, you know what I'm saying, pedophiles or no sexual offenders or just a deviant person with your kid.
Awesome. From your experience, do you like the teachers and staff better from your generation or the teachers and staff in today's generation at Cahokia, and why?
Oh, my generation, much better, hands down, because you know back then they cared more about the welfare of the kid. You know what I'm saying? Now it's more about, you know, you got these, you know what I'm saying, younger teachers, you know what I'm saying, the men, they looking at the young girls, you know what I'm saying, they ain't too focused on teaching, you know what I'm saying, then they, you know, more people, they worried about, like I said, they worried about collecting that money. They were worried about the check. They ain't worried about the kid, you know what I'm saying? And you got, you know, I understand we got some rough kids out here, you know what I'm saying, but it's a different time. And you still can't treat these kids, you know what I'm saying, a certain way. You can't treat them like they're adults. They still kids. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, get to know who you dealing with, know what they dealing with. Our teachers took the time out to, you know what I'm saying, understand. They really not trying to understand now.
Awesome. Now you mentioned male teachers looking at the girl students, right? So let me pause and cut in with some. When you were in school, were you attracted to any female teachers?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we had one. I was, boy, yeah, we was interested, but you know, we knew not to cross that line. You know what I'm saying? You know, you cross that line, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, but it was different day, different age, you know what I'm saying? You know, now you got these teachers, they a lot younger, but they, you know, they still, you know, too old for these look, you know, these kids.
I agree, but if that opportunity presented itself and a teacher would have crossed that line with you, would you have gone through or not?
Nah, my teachers didn't look like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't look like nothing. I ain't gonna lie, that just that one, and she wasn't my teacher. She just was a teacher at the school, and you know, she was the youngest teacher at the school. But nah, I wouldn't have done it.
I would have. I would have, and I wouldn't have told nobody, man. I just want to be human. I want to keep it honest. And at that time, you know, I know it's inappropriate, but at that time I didn't know it because I was highly sexually active, and so that's just a side note. But why do you believe that the state should take over the Cahokia district?
Because the system broke, man. The system is broken. You know, they hire people that, like I say, they don't match the criteria that we as parents are looking for in teachers and, you know, people that's supposed to develop the mind of our kids. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna hire somebody to teach our kids and influence the mind of our youth, you need to hire somebody that you know is not there to flirt and, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, or and not even just flirting, but nitpicking with your kid because they think that he a bad kid, or nitpicking with your daughter because she, you know, got a smart mouth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Find ways to resolve, you know, but yeah, no, they don't really, I don't think they do a good enough background check on these people. You know what I'm saying? They're just hiring people because who they know. You know, drop a name, you got a job.
Awesome. How do you feel about the Cahokia School District teachers protesting for working without a contract and possibly going on strike?
Man, a lot of them underpaid. You know, I ain't saying that ain't no good teachers there. You got a lot of good teachers. You know what I'm saying? But these good teachers are being underpaid, undervalued, underappreciated. And I feel them. If you being, you underappreciated and undervalued, you need to be paid. Get your money.
Awesome. We about to get to the nitty gritty now. What was your son's story behind being suspended for a fight he wasn't involved in physically, but he witnessed?
So my son, and I ain't just saying it because he my kid. I don't have no bad kid. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't my son, if it was somebody else's son, I still would take up for them because it was bogus. My son say he's standing there. He watching so his friend don't get jumped on. You know what I'm saying? He said it was a bunch of other cats in the bathroom. They get to fighting. His homeboy dropped his phone. He picked his friend phone up. The other kids ran out. He said, shit, when security come in, it's just him and the two people fighting. My son say he put his hands up like, man, like I ain't got nothing to do with it. Say security basically, snatched him up. You know what I'm saying? Say it was disrespectful, rude, talking crazy, just talking off the side of his neck to him. You know what I'm saying? But when I get to the school, I talk to, they like, well, he walked out the bathroom on his own. Well, y'all know y'all can't put y'all hands on him in front of cameras. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to lose your job or whatever. But what happened in the back? You don't have no proof that my son did nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then just, if you're going to discipline kids, man, you got to be right. You know what I'm saying? Don't go at it about the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Then how do you do something and not inform the parents? You know what I'm saying?
So what kind of punishment did your son receive?
And they gave my son 2 weeks of ACDC. That's where they send you to the disciplinary school. You know what I'm saying? With the trouble kids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call them bad. You know what I'm saying? Because, all kids, you know what I'm saying, at one point in time, they gonna do something. But, most of the trouble students, they send to this ACDC. I'm thinking they gonna give him, ice, in school suspension. But you send my son to a school for behavioral students for 2 weeks for something that, and then they say that they punished him based off an assumption. So you assume that he did something wrong and you don't have the proof that he did it. Show me the proof and then we can, we can go, and handle this accordingly. But if you're not going to show me the proof, if you don't have the proof, then how you going to discipline somebody? Then you're going to send them over here for 10 days? Like, that sounds ass backwards to me. Like, get the proof. In society, we innocent to proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? You treating these kids like hardened criminals. They institutionalized before they even hit the streets. Then you wonder why a lot of them don't trust, adults and whatnot, because look at how you treating them. You treating them like they belong in Menard and they high school students. You know what I'm saying? These kids.
So describe for me the ACDC school. You refer to it as what goes on there?
Man, ACDC is like a kid's prison. There's no, and these kids, man, they get them up. They go to school. It's just like, they go to school. You know what I'm saying? They eat lunch in the classroom with the teachers. The only place that they get to go on their own is to the restroom. You know what I'm saying? They basically in the room, detention all day. You know what I'm saying? No recess, rec time, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like lockdown. Oh, excuse me. It's basically lockdown, man. My son, he says just, he just been being quiet since he been there. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's like, oh, it ain't much, Daddy. He's like, it's like it's a cakewalk. I could do it. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But nah, man, it's like a little prison.
Okay, awesome. You told me it was an athlete involved in that fight.
Yeah.
So, in your heart, do you believe that athlete got the same treatment or discipline as your son?
Nah, cause he's an athlete. Athletes never get the same treatment. You know what I'm saying? And then when I asked about it, you know, they like, what athlete? Like, damn, that's how y'all handle it. You know what I mean? You know, the kid that's not an athlete, the two that's not athletes, you say that they got discipline, but you know what I'm saying? When I asked about the other one, they, oh, you quiet. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know how they, you know what I'm saying? They ain't say how they handled it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that, you know, just because he was an athlete that he didn't, you know what I'm saying, just get, you know, pushed to the side. Oh, yeah, you good. You don't have to, you know, shit.
So let me ask you. So what happens if you find out he played in that same athlete played in that football game against Granite City last night? How would you handle that?
Man, what's done is done. There ain't really nothing that I could do. You know what I mean? Shit, they didn't even want to listen to me when I came to defend my son. You know what I'm saying? When I came to stick up for my son, it's like I was doing something wrong. You know? It's like they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, you know, parents don't care about their kids, but I care about mine, and I don't care who you are. I'm gonna come defend mine at all costs. I don't care what it. If I have to, like I told my son, man, y'all give me a reason to live and die. And before I let anybody screw over y'all or mess with y'all, I go to hell for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I walk through hellfire for y'all. And I ain't finna take no shit from nobody. I don't care if it's teachers, student, police, whoever. You got a problem with my kid, you got a problem with me, hands down. I don't care. And I'm gonna support any kid that's being wronged or an injustice is being done to. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I could see a kid outside, and if somebody doing something that ain't supposed to be done to this kid, they mistreating him, they abusing him, mistreating him, I'm gonna stand up for that kid. You know, regardless, mine or not. You know, it's just they picked the wrong kid on the right day. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna say I thought this might have been a little unprofessional on your part, but I'm gonna ask you this though. Why did you take your emotions you had with the principal and the security guard to social media?
Because, you know, I wasn't gonna I'm a man, and I can own up to when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might have been wrong, but this punk motherfucker and not the, you know what I'm saying, but I gotta laugh to keep from, you know what I'm saying, getting upset about it. But I stuck my hand out to shake this man's hand when he first came out. Mistake number one, you didn't shake my hand. When I say that you the person that I need to see, instead of you greeting me and being a man, all you could do is sip your coffee and and just ignore everything that I'm saying to you. And then when I ask for your rebuttal, you shun me off and say, go see somebody at the board. That's when I got heated. You know what I'm saying? Then as I'm walking out, I wasn't even irate. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to you as a man. And then when I get outside, you call the police and tell them that I'm an irate parent. Yeah, you a bitch for that. That's some hoe shit. That's some bitch made shit. A man gonna be a man. And if I don't care, if you and me are talking and you getting your issue off, okay, now it's my turn. Let me get mine off. You know what I'm saying? And we can go back and forth. We can politic. We can, you know what I'm saying? We can debate. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But when you walked away from me and turned your back, and when I asked this man his name, he did some hoe ass shit. So yeah, you're a bitch for that.
We talking about the 10th grade principal. So hypothetical. I shouldn't be promoting this type of behavior, but do you think you can take him in a fist fight?
I, man, I walk his dog on everything I love. And not, you know what I'm saying? I don't go for bad, but when it comes to my kids, when it comes to my family, man, you gonna find yourself in a long dark alley with a crazed maniac, you know, and I might just lose it. And them two men gonna walk in that alley, and one coming out, and that one that come out gonna be me. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Awesome, man. I'm not sure if there's any truth to this, but allegedly, you talked about the same 10th grade principal or whatever, and you was disturbed on how he looked at the girls.
Yeah, the whole time that I'm talking to him, all he could do is watch the, you know, little females walking by. You know what I'm saying? You know, you paying attention to, you know, all the little girls walk by, but you're not paying attention to, you know, me talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I could respect that man more had he paid attention to what this grown man is talking to him about his child, instead of watching, you know, all the little women walking around. You know what I'm saying? You paying attention to these babies. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what you do or what you know what I'm saying, what was on your mind, but pay attention to what this grown man talking about. You know what I'm saying? We trying to resolve an issue. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you trying to resolve this issue, you worried about what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Don't pay attention to what's going on around you. And we right here, you know what I'm saying? I'm face to face with you. You know what I'm saying? We so close that shit, I could have bit his fucking nose off. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that close to him. We talking. You know, I'm talking, but this man can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. And had I been on some violent or, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't on no violent shit. I wasn't on none of that. But I was upset after he disrespectfully walked off with that arrogance and that cockiness, you know what I'm saying? And I asked his name. Okay, yeah. Means go to the board. Okay, I do that. When I got outside, that's when I told the police, yeah, he a bitch. He a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Cause you can't address a man and talk to a man like a man. All I asked for was, you know what I'm saying, give me your rebuttal. Be a man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get behind those glass doors where I can't get to you and do some whole shit like call the police and tell them that I'm being irate when you can clearly look at their cameras and see that I was just talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't touch you. I ain't put my hands on you. But when I got outside and I see that you did some whole shit like call extra police for somebody that was coming to talk about their kid, you got me fucked up. You got me all the way screwed up, nigga. I don't know what kind of people you deal with. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the first. I've heard kids come to my shop tell me, man, you're not the only person that has a problem with this man. You know, other parents have problems with this man. You know?
Awesome. So you mentioned about it should be a dress code for the girls at the school.
It really should.
They was dressed like call girls. Explain to me.
Man, these girls walk around that school, man. One little girl walked down the hall. She had on some looked like boy shorts and a hoodie. Like, come on, man. When we was at school, them girls, you couldn't walk around. It's like you got on some fucking panties walking the hallway. You know what I'm saying? These girls wearing motherfucking yoga pants and, you know what I'm saying, workout gear at school. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that you would wear. They would, like, my daughter wear at home in her room. They letting them wear this stuff at school, man. I don't think that's cool. You know what I mean? It should be stipulation. Like you could wear it in gym class. You wear it in gym class. But walking the halls, you shouldn't be able to walk the hall like that. it really do need to be a dress code. You know what I'm saying? When we were growing up, you know, you got up, brush your teeth, wash your face, iron your clothes, you put on something, you look presentable going to school. You ain't go to school looking like a little thot, you know what I'm saying, or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't show off your body, you know what I'm saying? Shit. And I understand, you know what I'm saying, to each his own, but you got these grown ass men working around these girls. And these girls ain't looking like little girls no more. You know what I'm saying? And these grown ass men ain't seeing these little girls as little girls. You know, they seeing them as potential, you know what I'm saying, notches on their belt. And I don't think that's cool, you know what I'm saying? So it should be a dress code so they, you know, I don't want you looking at my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be able to look at these babies and see what they got. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these men seeing at this, you know, in these schools.
Awesome. Should it be a dress code for female teachers?
It should also be a dress code for female teachers too. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to set an example for the younger ladies. You know what I'm saying? Lead by example. Show them. You don't have to show everything to be, you know what I'm saying, to be gorgeous, to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to show your body off to, you know what I'm saying, get the attention. You know? It was some fire women when we was in school, and they ain't show their body off all the time. They just had pretty faces. You know what I'm saying? A pretty face get you a long way. You know what I'm saying? A beautiful mind will get you a long way, but you don't have to expose everything you got. You know what I'm saying? Leave something to the imagination.
Awesome. What are some issues other parents you've spoken with have with the school district?
Man, just arrogant and disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? When people come to talk to them about their kids, they arrogant, disrespectful, cocky. They don't want to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? They feel like because you coming to talk about your kid, that, you know what I'm saying, you feel like your kid just special. No, I feel like all kids are special, but you feel like we not supposed to voice our opinion and say what we supposed to, like, we parents. At the end of the day, put yourself in the shoes of another parent. You know what I'm saying? If you have kids, you know what I'm saying, you don't want nobody handling your kid a certain way. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to handle our kids how we feel is appropriate, then don't take the job. Don't take the job. If you can't be a stand-up person, if you can't be a reasonable person, you shouldn't take the job.
Awesome. In your opinion, is the Cahokia School District providing the focused kids a good education?
I mean, you have that third, like, again, you know what I'm saying, that start with home. You know what I'm saying? If your kid ain't focused, that got a lot to do with, teaching at home. You know what I'm saying? If your kid ain't focused, you know what I'm saying, shoot, you gotta find other ways to get them focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids know I don't play. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna threaten you. I'm gonna take some away from you. I know what you like. I know what you don't like. So what I'm gonna do, if this gonna keep your focus until this get done right, and until this is taken care of, you won't see this. So either you do that or you won't have this. And as far as like the teachers, you know what I'm saying, like I say, develop certain tools, you know what I'm saying, to pique the interest of your student. You know what I'm saying? You want to pique their interest. You want to, you know what I'm saying, do stuff that make them want to learn, that intrigue them. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it basically start at home. But like you say, intrigue the kids. You know what I'm saying? Give them something that feeds that will to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just getting up in front of them and you talking at them, you're like, what? You know what I'm saying? And Like my daughter said a lot of times, like, my teachers are boring. You know what I'm saying? We had teachers that made teaching, you know what I'm saying, they made learning fun. You know what I'm saying? You know, or they at least made it interesting enough for you to want to learn. You're not making it interesting no more.
Awesome. So what's your biggest issue you have with the Cahokia School District, and on a scale from 1 through 10, with 10 being awesome, do you rate the Cahokia School District?
My biggest gripe and issue with Cahokia School District is they hire people that don't meet the criteria. They say they had the credentials, but you know what I'm saying, what necessarily are the credentials? You know what I'm saying? Like, they basically getting hired off of who they know and not what they know. And not all of them, but like most of the staff, like a lot of the people on the board, you know what I'm saying? Like, people live outside the district getting paid to work for the district. You know what I'm saying? Then you just have a lot of, you know, this is a lot of people that they don't care. You know what I'm saying? The people they just there to collect checks. Like I said, these people don't care about these kids. You know, put people in place that care about these kids. That's my biggest problem with them. And what I rate, and just the system just broken, period. You know what I'm saying? It's broken. And what I would rate the school, man, the district, period, because I ain't gonna say all the, you know what I'm saying, my biggest problem is just Cahokia High School. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say Worth or none of the other schools, but you had those issues at Worth and all the other, and a couple of the other schools too. But I rate the entire district probably about a 5. Probably about a 5.
Awesome. Last question. If the security guard and that principal was looking at this interview, what do you want to say to him?
Well, me and the security guard, we actually talked. We chopped it up, and we, you know what I'm saying, we had our, our time to talk, and, we came to understanding, you know what I mean? And, we talked as men and the principal could have did, but he got behind that wall and started acting all arrogant, cocky, and disrespectful like a little hoe. You know what I'm saying? If he would have we could have talked, but don't make me out to be something, you know what I'm saying, that, like, man, we don't even know each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that man personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't care to know him personally. But when he showed me his hand when I reached my hand out to shake this man's hand, and that man didn't shake my hand. You know what I'm saying? And then when I'm talking to him, the just disrespect, the arrogance, the cockiness, like, I'm a concerned parent. You know what I'm saying? Show some kind of empathy. You don't have to sympathize with me for shit. I don't care. But show some kind of empathy, because I'm a parent, you know what I'm saying, of of 2 children that go to your school. You know what I'm saying? I have to be active in and one thing about me, I ain't a deadbeat daddy. I'm an active dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 24/7 dad. You know what I'm saying? So that showed me, like, he didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He could have said whatever, as long as he would have make a rebuttal or say something back. Don't just walk away from me and turn your back and then push me to the higher up over you. It's just showing me that you don't want to resolve this. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to resolve it. You don't want to see no resolve. You want to give it to somebody else. Like, you just don't want to deal with it. You got to deal with it because another parent could have the same issue with you. What you gonna do? Tell them, get the hell out of my face, go see somebody else? Nah, man, that ain't how you handle it. You know what I mean? You could have been a man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I might have been wrong and going on Facebook telling them, yeah, when I see you, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta see me. But
you was in your feelings?
I was in my feelings. I'm still kind of in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm upset. That was rude. You know what I'm saying? You could have been a man and been like, look, I understand where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? If we can meet some kind of resolve and take care of this in another way, or, you know what I'm saying, let's get to the bottom of it and anything. But you handled it in a cowardly manner. You know what I'm saying? You walked away when I asked your name. You did some hoe shit, got behind the doors and called police like I was just about to, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't finna wreck you at that school, man. Come on now. I know better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a fool, but I ain't a damn fool. I know not to put my hands on your punk ass in this school. You know what I'm saying? If you felt so threatened by me, you know what I'm saying? Why would you let me walk out the school? Why wouldn't you tell the police that was in there, hey man, remove him? You know what I'm saying? It's obvious that I wouldn't know too much of nothing because the police laughed at what I was saying. Like, they laughed. Like, so obviously it was something wrong on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking to you like a man. And when I get outside, you know what I'm saying? I'm damn near to my car. And 2 more police officers walking up after I'm gone. Like, come on, man. What they say about you? You know what I'm saying? That's a you problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I said what I had to say and left. But it was when I saw them extra cops walking up after I leave, like, damn, you gonna call some cops for me after I'm gone? That's some fuck nigga shit. And I don't even like to use that word nigga, but that was some fuck nigga shit. I feel like he a coward for that. Shit. Be a man. The next time another parent come to talk to you, be a man. Talk to that parent. Don't be on some hoe shit and, go talk to this person. Nah. Be a man. Do your job and handle it the right way. Don't be scared to talk to a parent. We gonna be emotional when it come to our kids. We gonna have fire in our voice when we talking about our kids. I love mine. So I'm gonna go to the end of the earth for them. You know what I'm saying? But that shit right there, I just felt like, you know what I'm saying, that was some cowardly lying ass shit. And shit, felt like shit, he was trying to run the Toto and Dorothy in his office. You know what I mean? And man, that was just some soft ass shit.
Awesome.
I just feel like that was soft.
Man, you are now tuning out of PKF Topics with my man Paydro.